The mainstream sports media is currently pushing a very specific narrative, attempting to frame a noticeable drop in television viewership as a corporate success story while overlooking the underlying issues driving that decline. At the same time, the WNBA's public relations efforts are in full swing, highlighting the ratings from the Indiana Fever preseason opener against the New York Liberty as a major win. However, a large portion of the Fever's dedicated fan base is not buying into that narrative. Many viewers tune out in significant numbers, and the available data suggests this may be a direct response to head coach Stephanie White's controversial off-ball offensive system, along with shifting messaging from the organization's front office. Rather than accepting the surface-level interpretation being promoted, a closer look at the broadcast analytics, fan reaction, and recent PR decisions points to a more complex situation, one where early warning signs are emerging for Fever even before the regular season begins.
Cast of the first preseason game of the year with the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty. Let's keep it real, the two biggest teams in the league. The Indiana Fever and New York Liberty on Saturday, April 25th, delivered an average audience of 743,000. That is an increase of 76% over Ion's first preseason game last season. And I was like,
following the preseason matchup between the Indiana Fever and the New York Liberty on April 25th, the WNBA and the ION television network announced that the broadcast drew an average audience of 743,000 viewers. The league's PR machine quickly amplified the figure, with official social media accounts and mainstream reporters celebrating it as a major milestone, noting that it was the most-watched WNBA preseason game in the network's history and a 76% increase over ION's first preseason broadcast from the previous year. Viewed objectively, 743,000 viewers for a preseason game is undeniably strong and highlights a continued drawing power of Caitlin Clark as a major television attraction. However, a deeper look at the full analytical picture suggests there may be additional context being overlooked, as some analysts studying the league's broader economic trends argue that the headline number does not fully capture the underlying dynamics the league office may be downplaying.
Season game. So I got to look and was like, well, that's a little suspicious. That doesn't make a lot of sense. So I went to look. The Indiana Fever against Brazil on ESPN averaged 1.3 million viewers, peaking at 1.6. I don't know about you guys, just quick math.
In 2024, the Indiana Fever preseason exhibition against the Brazil women's national basketball team drew an impressive 1.3 million viewers on ESPN, with peak viewership reaching 1.6 million. By comparison, the highly anticipated 2026 preseason opener against the defending Eastern Conference champions, the New York Liberty, averaged 743,000 viewers. This represents a significant decline of roughly 43%, with the audience dropping from 1.3 million to 743,000, an apparent downward shift in overall viewership based on these two data points.
And you may be like, well, Rhodes, it's ION versus ESPN Network. Yeah, I got you covered, folks. ESPN's available in 70 million homes. Pay television households. The ION network is available in over 100 million homes. And it's available in a combination of over-the-air broadcasting, which is your antenna. If you got a plain old antenna, you can watch ION. Cable and satellite. It's on Dish Network. It's on DirecTV. It's on YouTube TV. It's on... it's free on Roku. It's a streaming channel.
For media pundits who argue that the difference comes down to reach, that explanation overlooks how modern television distribution actually works. ESPN is a premium cable channel available in roughly 70 million pay TV households, meaning viewers must actively subscribe to access it. In contrast, ION Television is a free-to-air broadcast network available in over 100 million homes, accessible through digital antennas and common streaming platforms, giving...
If you guys aren't paying attention, there's a section of fans that are mad as hell right now. They're mad as... They don't want to see Caitlin Clark play off ball. They don't like Stephanie White's style of play. They don't want to watch slow basketball. They don't want the ball to be taken out of Caitlin's hands. They don't like how the Indiana Fever handled the injury last year and kept tagging fans.
The timing of a ratings discussion is unlikely to be coincidental, as the Indiana Fever preseason game came at the end of a 2-week stretch in which the organization appeared to frustrate a significant portion of the fan base surrounding Caitlin Clark. In the days between the April 13th draft and the April 25th preseason opener, multiple storylines added to the tension, including comments from head coach Stephanie White about off-ball usage, messaging from team president Kelly Korskoff encouraging adjustments, and public remarks from general manager Lynn Dunn that some fans viewed as dismissive. Additional narratives, from roster construction debates to draft-related reactions, further fueled dissatisfaction. While correlation does not always equal causation, the broader pattern suggests that Clark's fan base plays an outsized role in driving ticket sales, television ratings, and overall engagement. During this period, the organization's messaging appeared to shift away from emphasizing Clark's on-ball playmaking, widely seen as a most compelling attribute, and toward a more system-oriented approach, including references to versatility and shared ball-handling responsibilities. For many casual viewers who were drawn in by Clark's fast-paced, high-usage style, that shift may have reduced anticipation for the preseason product. Given how strongly recent viewership trends have been associated with Clark's central role on the court, the drop from 1.3 million to 743,000 viewers raises questions about whether fan expectations and team messaging became misaligned. From a strategic standpoint, it underscores the importance of clearly defining and promoting the team's identity, especially when one player functions as a primary driver of audience interest and commercial momentum.
The players that aren't going to play. Stephanie White said she doesn't anticipate playing Aaliyah Boston, Ty Harris, or Lexi Hull tomorrow in the preseason game against Dallas. Quote, I think we still probably be cautious with that. I think the goal is to probably get some of them minutes on Saturday if we can. What do you mean, if we can? Can you or not? What are we doing?
Beyond the stylistic concerns about moving away from a transition-heavy offense, the Indiana Fever front office is also facing criticism over vague injury reporting, which some fans believe is eroding trust. Head coach Stephanie White indicated that key players like Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Natasha Howard were dealing with undisclosed injuries, offering cautious and nonspecific updates that left room for uncertainty. This lack of transparency has fueled skepticism among parts of the fan base, raising concerns about the organization's communication and overall credibility. Looking ahead, the regular season opener on May 9th against the Dallas Wings, featuring a highly anticipated matchup between Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark, is expected to draw significantly higher viewership than the preseason. However, future audience trends may depend heavily on coaching decisions. If the system shifts back toward a fast-paced, ball-dominant role for Clark, interest could surge, while continued emphasis on off-ball schemes and rigid rotations might risk further disengagement from casual viewers. Ultimately, the situation highlights a broader concern. Once a large casual audience begins to drift away, it can be difficult to bring them back, making it crucial for the organization to align its on-court strategy and messaging with what resonates most strongly with its growing fan base.